I think of our culture as something so beautiful. And like, I think of all the traditions that we've upheld for centuries, and being one of the few cultures to honor our fahus and our sisters, loving our sisters. The brothers are always there doing things for the sisters. And I love that. There's so many things that I love about the Tongan culture. But like you said, there are also some toxicity that comes out of it, you know, and it changes the way that our life progresses and the way our life moves. I've seen people getting hammered online for doing things that are out of the norm, or if they messed up a certain way, they are ridiculed and basically ta'akid online because of not living up to the culture. So I do believe that it's important to honor it and to respect it and to be proud of who you are, where you came from, and the traditions we've upheld. But at the same time, stepping back and choosing what's best for you as an individual, and knowing, you know, mental health and stuff. For our own mental health and our own sanity, I think it's also important to be selfish sometimes and put ourselves before the cultural expectations. If it means you're going to be depressed and anxious because you're following these cultural traditions, I say you drop it. You know, like you limit it. Everyone knows we're all, like, anyone who knows us, they know our cultural background. They know that Tongans are great. They know they're good at football. They know that they love their family, and those are all great things. But I think when it stops you from your personal and individual goals, that's when it's harmful. And that's when we are hindering our own progress, because we are letting a cultural norm control our lives. And I was talking to one of my friends the other day who is Tongan as well, and we were discussing the same topic. You know, sometimes there are Tongan people who are gay, or Tongan people who want to do something that's out of the norm, but it's not accepted by our culture. Or there's Tongan people who want to date, who love people for the skin of their, not for the skin of their color, but for who they are as people. Like, they want to date Black people. But let's be honest, in our culture, the older generation, they think that shouldn't be accepted and all that stuff. And I think that's when it becomes toxic. Like, you know, I feel like it's important to accept ourselves and our traditions, but at the same time, not let it control us. It's only a part of our identity, but so is being gay is part of our identity. So is loving another person from a different culture is part of our identity, and that's important to us as well. So I think it's important to balance it, but don't let it like overtake your entire world.
Yep.
And so, yeah. And I think for me personally, a lot of times, we touched on this before, being expected to just be this perfect person and, you know, doing things a certain way until you get married and all that. But that would be happening in a perfect world. But because we live in an imperfect one and we're imperfect people, again, we're bound to make decisions that don't align with the cultural values. And it's okay to accept ourselves for that. And yeah, just take what's good for you and what you can handle. For example, I want to talk about like kavengas. For example, if you have like a huge family, you know what kavenga is. You have to chip in money and all that stuff. That's great. I love the concept. It gives us a sense of community and a sense of responsibility to one another. But if that goal is stopping you from feeding your family, or stopping you from buying that house you've always wanted to save up for, or stopping you from paying for bills that you already have, then 100% drop the culture at that time, like, and think about it at a different time when you're more suited to fulfill those responsibilities.
Oh, but, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so, you know, if you don't got it, it's okay to say no, y'all.
Yeah, it's okay to say no. Like, you have, and sometimes you do have it, but you have other goals to accomplish.
Yeah.
You can absolutely prioritize yourself first, you know, and do what's best for you.
No, I remember, you know, growing up, you know, that was the case. You know, we had to, always take care. Everybody had to chip in. It's funny. I always remember growing up, and you know, when you get your first job and you get paid on payday, for normal people, a payday is a happy day. They got paid.
Yeah.
For me, that was not a happy day.
You took it straight to your parents?
I know. Everyone's like, why are you sad? It's payday. I'm like, dude, don't even worry about it. I'm not even going to see my check. So no, that was a funny moment. But no, I want to ask you is...
Not the laughing it off, but you were...
Exactly. No, but it's funny, like, I remember, like, for the majority of my life, in my younger days, like, I would, give as much as I can to my family. And then I realized just growing up that, and of course, I got into the sales industry and I started learning about money. I started learning about financial literacy. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. And I realized, I just realized, like, I just saw, like, my family and how they handled money and the decisions they were making when it came to investing into their future. I realized, it doesn't matter how much money I give them. Poverty is a mindset, it's a cycle. If they don't change their spending habit, they don't change how they accumulate debt, then I can give them my paycheck or not. It's not, my family is not going to change. And also I also add on to the fact that I wasn't happy because I didn't have enough. I wasn't able to financially support myself, my own well-being. So I started to fall apart, and because I wasn't able to do the things I wanted to do, and also, like, just feed myself and take care of myself. I realized that at some point in time, like, I had to have the courage to tell my family, eventually say, sorry, I can't, I have to say no now.
Yeah.
Because, like, I got to take care of myself. Like, and that quote, you can't help other people if you don't help yourself first. Mm-hmm. I realized, like, I'm not by helping them, I'm falling apart and I'm falling into a dark place. And I really had to start taking care of my mental health and put myself as a priority. And I remember the first time when I told my family that I can't. I told them no for the first time, right? And I remember the first thing they said was like, "Oh, them see that offer." All right. Man, I don't like that hurt. For me, I'm a lot of things don't hurt me. I haven't really have tough skin because I grew up in Tongan with some tough parents. But that really hurt because I was like, man, like, my whole life, I tried to do everything I can. I wasn't perfect, but I tried to give everything I can. And the one moment when I wanted to do something for myself, the first thing you thought about was you, and not kind of like, show me some support after we've done. So that really hurt for me. I know a lot of you guys probably hear this and probably can relate. But for me, I just saw it as, at the end of the day, I still love my family. I love my family. I want to take care of them. I want to take them out the struggle. But I realized, like, I can't financially support my family and take them out the struggle being a broken man. All right. So I want to be, for me, I was like, what's the point of me of, like, being a son if I'm a broken son? What's the point of me starting a family, having kids one day if I'm a broken father? Because I just can't say no to my family and let my cultural expectations, the toxicity, just take over my life. I want to make sure that when I have kids one day, I have a family one day, I want to be able to continually support them from a place of happiness, because I feel like the more happy I am, the more I can give.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. And I'm sure a lot of Tongan men out there can relate to you and your experiences, and just feeling. Also, I think you rose another important concept was, like, thinking of the future and thinking of our children and thinking of our families and what kind of cycles we need to end, and thinking of the next generation and how much better their lives will be if we take what we've learned from our past and use it to drive them to a better future is important. And like I said, finances is a topic where I truly believe there's a lot of financial illiteracy in our community, and it sets us back so much. But
I want to say something that I definitely believe that people need to hear. Because I grew up supporting my parents or what they needed from me, I don't want that for my kids, right? I want to make sure when I have kids one day, I don't want to burden them with my debt, with my financial responsibility that I should handle as a man myself. I want my kids to do what they want to do and live their life, go to college. And sometimes it saddens me sometimes because our culture don't know about financial literacy. They put all their financial burden on their kids. I see kids sacrificing their future, like going to college, taking a scholarship. I have a good friend. He had a scholarship to go play football. He had to deny it. So because his family is not making enough money, so he had to start working, get 2 jobs, so he could support his family and give away that scholarship and the education, right? So I feel like that we have to stop this cycle, and that's the reason why I'm talking about this. Like we have to stop this cycle where we have to because if you can't say no, then you end up like being broken, and you're broke. Then you start a family because you're broke. You're gonna rely on your kids to share that financial responsibility. And I understand that, and I understand you have to do that as a family. But I feel like the purpose of having of a parent is to give your kids a better life than you went through. I don't, what I'm saying? So for me, that's why I'm really doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm focusing on myself, and I want to be the best version of myself, because I want to give my kids a better future, and I want them to live their dreams, because we want to elevate the culture. We want to see more Tongans succeed, be doctors, be lawyers, be artists, be singers, whatever we want to do. But the reason why we don't see a lot of Polynesians or Tongans go into these type of occupations, the level of success, is because as soon as they graduate from high school, they have to get 2 jobs and go support the family and just give up everything.
And there's so much talent in the Tongan community.
Exactly.
The amount of talent that I've seen in the Tongan community is immense. Like, I always hear people telling me about their Tongan friends who know how to sing, they know how to play football, they're really smart. Yeah. And a lot of the Tongans I know personally, they're all really smart. And
they are.
Yeah, but because they love their parents and they love the culture so much, it's almost to a point where they are not fulfilling or reaching their fullest potential because culture is setting us all back. And it happens to all of us. It's not
exactly.
even we've all had moments where we had thought
sacrifice.
We had to forfeit a part of our identity to please the culture or something. So I get it. But we're getting better.
So and that's the thing. I just want our culture to do better, and I just want everybody out there, just understand, we have to stop. And I know parents don't want to hit this. We have to stop putting the burden on our children. And I know that's not a popular thing to say, because our family is everything. But I feel like if we want to have a better future, not only as a people, as a culture, but for our kids, then we have to allow our kids to grow, and we have to allow our kids to elevate themselves. But they can't elevate themselves if they're always burdened by, especially when it comes to finances, right? So I just want to talk about that. I just want to throw that topic, and I know, please don't hate me, but it's real. I just that's one of the saddest things, like you said, to see is when I see a talented Tongan, when I see a very talented Polynesian, and I'm like, oh my God, they have so much talent, but then they're restricted because they have to give that up so they can take care of their family. And I understand that. I'm not saying don't take your family, but we just got to figure out a better solution than what we've known, what we've been doing so far. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Also, hitting on finance, I just want to encourage everyone out there to get your finances in order. Check your credit scores, do all that, and just sort it out now. If you're watching this, I feel like it's super important to do that right now. And you better.
Yeah. And also if I've seen this happen, and I'm going to speak to this too, and I know this is going to be, we're talking I want to let right now. I'm going to be right direct. If you have kids, right, and then you and your kids are working to pitch into the family, but as a parent you're not taking care of your finances and you're getting to debt, you're wasting money, you got to do better. You got to do better, and your kids have no idea what you're doing. I've seen that happen all the time, where the kids are working hard, but the parents are just not doing what.
Closing.
You're just spending the kalapu and faikava and wasting the money, and then the kids out here grinding and working for them. Oh my God, I've seen that so many times. So if you're that parent, please, you gotta do better and have some sympathy to your kids. They're working, going to give you their full paycheck, and you're not doing anything with it to better the situation. All right, but nevertheless, I regress. I digress.
I digress.
I digress. So I can progress. But anyway, just my little malanga. That was my little, malanga session right there. Just speaking some facts to something I see all the time. So you know who you guys are. Do better, please.